Chaos, danger. These are the first words that come to mind when you hear about northern Myanmar, a land shrouded in darkness, a place that makes even the bravest souls shiver. But if northern Myanmar is hell on earth, there's another spot that takes a step further, a dead end where humanity ceases to exist, where people are traded like commodities, and escape is nothing but a distant dream. Welcome to Mayawati, a name that echoes with terror. Today, we're diving into a true story, a chilling tale of abduction, betrayal, and the black market that thrives in the shadows. If you're a fan of mysteries and real-life crime, hit that like button and subscribe to join us on this journey. Trust me, you won't want to miss a second of this. Our story starts with a woman named Lin Chen, a Taiwanese entrepreneur with over a decade of experience navigating the treacherous borderlands between Myanmar and Thailand. She's tough, resourceful, and well-connected, with a decent chunk of money to her name. Lin Chen thought she'd seen it all, until one fateful day when her phone rang. On the other end was her friend, a voice trembling with fear, sobbing through the static. "Lin Chun," she cried, "I've been sold. I'm in Kaka, Mayawati. They're demanding a huge ransom." Imagine that moment, the panic, the helplessness. For those who don't know, Mayawati isn't just some random town. It's Myanmar's second largest port, nestled in the east, and it's earned a reputation as the scam capital of hell, a place where dreams go to die. Lin Chen didn't hesitate. She'd spent years building her life near these borders, so she knew the stakes. With her friend's life hanging in the balance, she gathered $170,000 in cash, her hard-earned savings, and reached out to a middleman. The plan was simple: head to the outskirts of Kaka, pay the ransom, and bring her friend home. It sounded straightforward, right? But in a place like Mayawati, nothing is ever what it seems. Lin Chen set off, her heart pounding, clutching that bag of cash like it was her lifeline. Little did she know, she was walking into a nightmare far worse than she could have imagined. She arrived at the meeting point, a desolate spot on the edge of Kaka. For 2 agonizing hours, Lin Chen stood there, waiting. No one showed up. The wind howled, and her gut screamed that something was wrong. Finally, after begging and pleading, she was granted a meeting with the area's manager. What he told her next shattered her world. Her friend? Gone. Sold off an hour earlier to a buyer from Dubai, a wealthy figure who'd paid 5 times the ransom for one gruesome reason: her organs. Lin Chen's friend had been loaded onto a so-called medical ship out at sea, and by the time Lin Chen heard this, it was too late. Now let's talk about these medical ships. From a distance, they look like salvation, floating Red Cross vessels promising aid to the needy. But don't be fooled. These aren't sanctuaries. They're slaughterhouses on water, part of a twisted network that's turned Mayawati into a hub for something far darker than scams. Out on the open sea, where no one's watching, these ships have become the perfect stage for the illegal organ trade. And Lin Chen's friend? She was just another victim caught in its jaws. Stick around, because this is only the beginning. What happens when greed meets desperation? How deep does this rabbit hole go? We're about to find out. Last time, we left Lin Chen standing in the outskirts of Kaka, Mayawati, reeling from the news that her friend had been sold for her organs. 1 hour. That's all it took for her hope to vanish. But to understand how this could happen, we need to pull back the curtain on a world most of us pray we'll never see: the black market organ trade. It's a business built on blood, and Mayawati, it's ground zero. Every year, over 1 million people worldwide wait for organ transplants. Kidneys, livers, corneas. Demand is sky high, and legal donations can't keep up. For the desperate, time's running out. For the rich and powerful, money's no object. That's where the black market steps in. A kidney here can fetch up to $1.65 million. A liver? Millions more. Skin, eyes, anything human, it's all got a price tag. And where there's profit, there's predators. In northern Myanmar and Mayawati, they call their prey piglets, people stripped of their humanity, reduced to walking inventory. Lin Chen's friend wasn't the first, and she wouldn't be the last. When that manager broke the news, he didn't blink. To him, it was just another transaction. A buyer from Dubai had swooped in, outbid the ransom, and shipped her off to a medical vessel anchored off Mayawati's coast. Lin Chen knew what that meant. Out there on the open water, those ships aren't saving lives. They're ending them. Once a symbol of hope, they've been hijacked by criminals who exploit the lawless sea. No oversight, no evidence, just profit. So how does this work? Picture this. A victim's taken aboard, strapped down and cut open, sometimes without anesthesia. Their organs are harvested, packed in ice, and shipped to buyers willing to pay top dollar. The blood? That's sold too. And the body? Tossed overboard like trash. It's a conveyor belt of death, and Mayawati's port makes it all possible. But where do these piglets come from? That's where northern Myanmar comes in. A breeding ground for victims, a pipeline feeding the slaughter. Northern Myanmar scam compounds are infamous. People are lured with promises of jobs or riches, only to find themselves trapped. They're beaten, brainwashed, and forced into scamming others online. But when they're no longer useful, when they can't meet quotas or resist brutality, they're sold off. Mayawati's the next stop, where their value shifts from labor to flesh. Lin Chen's friend likely started there, caught in a web of deception that ended on that ship. And the worst part? This isn't rare. It's routine. The organ trade thrives because people want to live, and some will pay anything to do it. A millionaire in Dubai, a tycoon in Europe. They don't care where the kidney comes from, as long as it works. Meanwhile, victims like Lin Chen's friend are just collateral damage. She'd been ripped from her life, traded like livestock, and extinguished, all before Lin Chen could even say goodbye. Next, wheel Iatric into a machine that fuels this horror. The scam rings of northern Myanmar, and the fate awaiting those who fall through the cracks. You won't believe how dark it gets. By now, you're probably wondering, how does someone like Lin Chen's friend end up on a ship carved up for parts? The answer lies in northern Myanmar, a lawless frontier where scams aren't just a crime, they're an industry. It's a place where hope goes to die, and for those who survive the first wave of torment, Mayawati waits like a vulture, ready to pick the bones clean. Northern Myanmar is a maze of mountains and jungles, a no-man's land where ethnic militias and warlords reign. For decades, it's been a hotspot for illegal trade, drugs, weapons, you name it. But in recent years, a new cash cow emerged: online scams. People are tricked into coming here with promises of easy money, only to be enslaved. They're locked in compounds, forced to cold call strangers, posing as cops or bankers to steal millions. Meet the piglets. That's what the bosses call them. And their nightmare? It's just step one. Once you're in, there's no way out. Day one, you're stripped of your freedom. Phone gone, passport burned. They call you dog spawn. And if you disobey, the beatings start. Step two, training. You're taught every trick in the scam book. How to lie, how to manipulate. Slip up? Electric whips or steel rods remind you who's in charge. Step 3. Work. Locked in a room. You're on the phone all day, hitting quotas that climb from thousands to millions. Fail to deliver? They'll hack off a hand or a foot. It's not punishment, it's motivation. For women, it's even worse. They're rare in these compounds, so they're prized and preyed upon. The pretty, obedient ones are sent to entertain the bosses. When the novelty wears off, they're sold to brothels or clients. The defiant ones, trained with the rest, then shipped to party halls to service strangers. Disease festers, hope fades, and half their lives are spent in agony. But here's the kicker. That's not the worst fate. At least they're alive for now. When a piglet's too broken to scam or too rebellious to control, they're discarded. That's when Mayawati steps in. If northern Myanmar is the starting line of suffering, Mayawati's the finish. Victims are sold for hundreds of thousands, shipped to those medical vessels we talked about. For a moment, they might feel relief. No more beatings, no more quotas. But it's a lie. The second a millionaire needs a kidney match, their clock starts ticking. On these ships, every piece of you has a price. Skin? A few $100. Organs? Hundreds of thousands. When the deal struck, you're hauled aboard, tied down, and cut open, awake. No anesthesia, just pain. They drain your blood for extra cash, and when they're done, your body's dumped into the sea. Northern Myanmar might break you, but Mayawati ends you. Lin Chen's friend? She hit that dead end, and there was no coming back. Next time, we'll uncover the history that birthed this monster and why Mayawati's become the world's organ trade capital. Don't go anywhere.